Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the World of Wrestling podcast. Here today to discuss about the UFC 317 preview and predictions video. I'll also give you a 3-leg parlay and some individual bets as we move along into this this preview and predictions video of UFC 317 of Tapoya versus Charles Oliveira. Let's get things started. The very first fight on the card is Jonata Deniz going up against Alvin Hines. I got Deniz winning this fight by knockout. I think he's going to knock him out in the very first round. But if you want to play it safe, money line him for a minus 375, you can. He's actually one of the legs in my parlay going up against a fucking nobody straight out of the regional scene. Currently right now on Tapology, Deniz is an 85% chance of winning based on the votes of 4,784 people and 15% on Hines. So there's a strong possibility that Deniz is walking away with the W here. Should be a very entertaining and fun fight to sit back and watch. Next, we had Niko Price going up against Jacoby Smith in the second fight of the card. I'm going to go with Jacob Smith to win by knockout. What round? I don't know. Probably the first round, I'd say. But betting first round would be really stupid. I'd go, his odds as a favorite is outrageous. A minus 1,600 on Hard Rock. If you bet him by knockout, it's a minus 275, which is a little bit more reasonable. If you want to stay away from that completely, I don't blame you. Because even, a knockout prop, he has to hit. If Niko Price can survive, which a lot of people don't think he will, you just lost that bet. So my attitude is minus 275 on a knockout prop. I'm not quite sure if I would want to do that. Feel a little uncomfortable with that. Niko Price, though, is 6 feet tall, and Jacoby Smith is only 5'10", with a 72-inch reach, and Niko Price has a 76-inch reach. So, that could play a factor. He could get lucky, win, maybe, but I highly doubt it. I'm going with Jacoby Smith on this one, without a shadow of a doubt. Next, we're going to Terrence McKinney versus Versalav Borkachev. Now, I bet on Borkachev before in the past. I've been disappointed. He's lost a couple of times. He lost to Tom Nolan, who should have knocked him out, but he won by a unanimous decision. And Chase Hooper, who beat him with a Darce choke. And Chase Hooper had to really work for that to get the win. Terrence McKinney, known for having a very low gas tank, he seems to burst through the fight in the first round, run out of, cardio, and he gets very fatigued very quickly. I would have to say, based on those factors and the fact that McKinney does have wrestling in his arsenal, but refuses to ever utilize it. My attitude is, based on the fact that he doesn't utilize the wrestling, he's more focused on stand-up fighting, and Borkachev being, durable and be able to hang on even with getting damage, I think he can makes it out of the first round. I think Borkachev could win the fight. So I'm going to go with Borkachev on this one. I think McKinney is going to lose. And I think Borkachev is going to win by decision. Believe it or not. He may knock him out, though, in the second round, possibly, because McKinney might get tired. But I'm not sure about that one. But I will say moneyline, Borkachev as a single bet, I would go with that. You got a chance at possibly winning. So I'd say, yeah, he's an underdog, plus 145. Not a bad line to bet on based on those scenarios. You got a chance of actually winning some money. I wouldn't bet any high volume of money. I'd bet like a very small amount. And if you guys want to tail my picks and whatnot on like Novig or Fliff, just to play it safe where you're not betting actual money and you want to tail my picks, you're more than welcome to do so. If you want to tail it through actual money, I highly recommend betting small amounts so that you're not taking a chance of losing your money. Next fight, we got Viviane Araújo versus Tracy Cortez. I'm going to take Tracy Cortez in this fight. She's had some high-level experience, especially against Rose Namajunas, who, she competed against her. She didn't lose. She beat Jasmine Jasudavicius. She actually recently won a couple of weeks ago, I think. She beat Melissa Gatto, who was 8-0 going into that fight. Stephanie Egger. And, she's beaten some fairly decent competitors over the last 2 or 3 fights. Some people are taking Araújo. I think taking Vivian, she's 38 years old. I don't know how she's going to turn out in this fight. Her last fight was almost a year ago. It was 7 months ago against Karine Silva. I think that Cortez is definitely a step above Karine Silva. Natalia Silva actually beat her as well. She was the last person to beat her. Vivian did beat Karine Silva the fight after. So Natalia Silva is pretty damn good. I think Tracy Cortez got a shot at winning this. I think that she's definitely live to win this fight without question. I'm taking Tracy Cortez in this one. If you want to put her in a parlay, I don't blame you. I don't think it's a high risk. But, still you could possibly lose. A lot of people I've heard have mixed emotions. Some people think Vivian's going to win. Others think Tracy's going to win. I'm kind of torn, but I'm going to say Tracy Cortez. She's not in my 3-leg parlay. I was thinking about putting her there. I've changed my fucking parlay 3 different times. I'm on my 3rd one. I will give you guys that 3-leg parlay in just a moment. Next, we have Haider Amil going up against Jose Delgado. Now, Delgado, I've seen him fight. I bet on him recently in his last fight. That was against Connor Matthews. But Haider Amil, man, I bet on him once before against William Gomez. And I think he was an underdog. He also went up against Jang Young Lee. He beat him by a KO 11 months ago. The guy is fucking good. He's durable. He hasn't been defeated yet, number 2. I've heard that Jose Delgado, based on a lot of YouTubers, say that he's low volume, but he connects. He's very precise with his punches. He doesn't take a lot of chances and whatnot. Amil, though, he is a volume puncher. He's a guy that pressures his opponents. I think with that being said, I think Amil is probably going to put Delgado under some pressure, and Delgado is not going to be able to deal with it. I think he does have a puncher's chance, though. He's got knockout ability, Delgado. Let me just take a quick look and see how many knockouts he's gotten in his career. He's gotten 5 knockouts out of 9 wins, so that's not too bad. So he's never went to a decision. But with this fight, I think with Amil being as durable as he is, I think that Amil could walk away with the W here. So I'm going to go with Amil. He's another underdog. I would put a small stake on if you want to go ahead and do that, or a small wager. But yes, that's where I would go with Haider Amil. Jose Delgado, though, I'm not going to say he can't win. But with this fight being as close as it could possibly be, I'd say betting on the underdog is a better option than betting on Jose Delgado. I don't think Delgado is, I don't know if he's really going to win or not, but I'm not even really betting on this fight. I put a small wager on Haider Emil on Novig for like 6 cents. So, I mean, it's not like a big fucking deal. Novig's actually a very great sports book to utilize. They give you free money on daily logins. After 25 days in 1 month, they give you a total of $10, and your maximum amount that you need to have, or minimum amount that you need to have to withdraw the money, is $20. So you have to bet the whole entire $10 in order to get that money redeemed. So at the end of the day, I mean, you're taking your time with it. Once you reach a certain point, you want to withdraw, just take the whole amount, bet on one fighter, and there you go. Problem solved, and just hope and pray that you got it right, and there you go. Otherwise, you can go ahead and do a bankroll type of move and do like 1% and do single bets, which is what I did on Novig. But on Hard Rock, which is what I have available to me on here in the state of Florida, I'm using Hard Rock to do a parlay so I can get plus money back. And I'm pretty good at parlays. It's just, I hate doing parlays. To me is like the old model, work harder, not smarter type of mentality. And that's what parlays are. Yeah, you'll get these plus money parlays for one ticket, but you're taking all of these and stacking the odds up against yourself. And, it's hard, it's difficult, but I've taken some cards, like I said earlier in other videos. I've gone 9-3, 10-2 on picks, and, you're just talking about 3 picks. If I hit every one of those picks that I picked on Tapology as a bet, I walk away with the W. So it's definitely possible. It's just very nerve-wracking. It takes a lot of research, taking a lot of time, kind of contemplating, do I do 2-leg, 3-leg? Do I have enough balls to go further than that? Because really, after 3 legs, you're really just pushing your fucking luck. And even 3 legs is a pain in the ass. 2 legs is probably the best thing to do when it comes to a parlay, but the odds that I had did not get me plus money, so I had to go with what I had. I wanted to get more money out of it. I'll get to that in just a moment. But before we move any further to the main card, we got one more fight, which is the prelim main event. Gregory Rodriguez versus Jack Hermansson. I'm taking Gregory Rodriguez in this one. Jack Hermansson, yes, he beat Joe Pyfer, but Joe Pyfer, I bet on him the last pay-per-view on UFC 316, and I will tell you, I had him on a 3-leg parlay, and holy fucking shit, man. He really had me just wanting to have a nervous breakdown. I thought Kevin Gastelum was going to possibly win this by the judges' scorecard. I was ready, all set and ready to just pull the fucking bet, early cash out, and save myself from possibly losing. And thankfully, the judges gave it to fucking Joe Pyfer. I am not betting on Joe Pyfer ever again. His style is just one punch knockout ability, no combinations, nothing. He did nothing, and Jack Hermansson beat Joe Pyfer in the last fight that he had. That was about 1 year and 4 months ago. With that being the case, being 1 year ago, and he wasn't even the favorite, he was an underdog, I honestly think Greg Rodriguez, being the kind of guy that he is, who's a volume puncher, doesn't throw just one power knockout ability and all that jazz. He throws combinations. My only concern about Gregory Rodriguez is I concern myself with the fact that he could gas out. That's my only issue with Rodriguez. But with the amount of volume that he has, if he can at least go 2 rounds, dominating those first 2 rounds, and then the third round just coasting, avoiding from getting knocked out, and just pretty much keeping his distance, keeping Hermansson on the outside and whatnot. If he ends up doing that, then great. I see Gregory Rodriguez, Mr. RoboCop, who looks like Barack Obama on roids, should be able to win this fight, in my personal opinion. I think Jack Hermansson is a good fighter. I originally picked him, but after doing some thinking and researching about him and hearing what other people had to say about him, I feel that Gregory Rodriguez has the ability to win this fight. Money line wise, I would bet him money line, but I would not bet him in a parlay. Strictly because of what I just said. He gasses out sometimes. He doesn't have the greatest cardio if it's going more than 3 rounds. Thankfully, this is not. Jack, I think it was, I forgot his fucking name. Jared Cannonier, excuse me. Jared Cannonier, he ended up losing to him by knockout. I was not too happy about that. I actually picked Greg Rodriguez to win that fight. I didn't think Greg Rodriguez was going to lose. Thankfully, I didn't bet him, actually, but I thought Gregory Rodriguez was going to win that fight. He did not do very well. So, like I said, if you want to bet this fight, I'd straight bet it. I would not include in any parlay because he could possibly lose. That I will say. But my confidence, I'd say he's about a 70% confident pick that he should walk away with the W in this fight. Next up, the main card opener. Peyton Tabbett. Or Tabbett. I don't know how to pronounce some of these fucking names. So please forgive me, guys. Peyton Tabbett versus Felipe Lima. I'm taking Felipe Lima in this one. And I'll tell you why. Felipe Lima is a good wrestler. He's very good at what he does. He's fought in Octagon. He won the Octagon Championship. He is a good fighter. He can stand up fighting. He's a Brazilian, too. A lot of Brazilian fighters are pretty good at what they do in MMA. And he's a wrestler. And a very good one. And Barcelos. I can't believe this. Barcelos took Peyton Tabbett to the ground multiple fucking times. And he was a minus 1,600 favorite against Barcelos. Anyone that bet Barcelos would have walked away with a shitload of money. Tabbett has one weakness about him, and that is the fact he's bad at the takedown defense. That is his situation here. Fighting wise, standing up wise, he is very good at what he does. If this was just a straight up stand up fighting game where there was no way of taking the fight to the ground, I would say Tabbett wins the fight. But Felipe Lima, if he's having a little bit of trouble against Peyton, he can always have that option to take the fight to the ground and dominate on the ground. So Felipe Lima is the choice here in this fight. I think he's going to walk away with the W, and Peyton is going to have to suck it up and take another L under his record. Next fight, we have Benelli Dariush going up against Renato Moicano, Mr. Moneyman, Mr. Moneybags. Moicano has been a very, very good fighter. He's been on a hot streak, only losing one fight, and that was a last-minute replacement against Islam Makhachev for the fucking UFC lightweight title. He lost by submission. You cannot hate him or look at him and say Moicano doesn't have a shot at winning this. But Dariush, he's pretty damn good himself. If this is just jiu-jitsu alone, and Moicano cannot knock him out, but Dariush does have the capability of being knocked out because he has a chin problem, from what I've noticed. He's been knocked out by Charles Oliveira, and he was knocked out by Arman Sakaran. So losing 2 back-to-back fights by knockout, little bit concerning to me. Let's take a look at Moicano's knockout wins. Not too many, just 2 knockouts, mostly just all by submission. 10 wins by submission, 8 by decision. So I wouldn't be too worried about this one. Either one of these two could win by decision. I don't think Dariush is going to be able to finish off Moicano, even if he was to win this fight. But let me take a look here, see how often Moicano has been beaten twice by submission. So both of these guys are very good at submission. And Dariush, let's see how many times he's been submitted. He's only been submitted once. I see the path of this fight going to a decision. I really do. I don't see these two guys finishing each other off. I think they're very durable. The only way that this fight ends is by knockout by Moicano. If you want to take Moicano's side on this, I don't blame you, because Dariush's chin has been suspect as of late. So I would say I'm going to change my pick from Dariush to Moicano. I'm going to give some respect to Moicano. I like Moicano. I think he's very entertaining and whatnot. But, I mean, there's still a chance Dariush could pick up a victory and bounce back from these 2 losses he sustained. But I think Moicano could possibly win the fight. Based on that knockout possibility, because Moicano has won 2 fights by knockout. So there is a chance that could happen. Is it very likely? I don't think it is, because Moicano doesn't have the greatest knockout power ability, but I am going to say that Moicano can actually pick up this victory by decision, more than likely. Next, we have Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. This is one of the picks, boys. This is one of the picks I got on my parlay. Brandon Royval, I got on my fucking parlay. You guys might say, oh, why are you choosing a 32-year-old over a 23-year-old? Well, let me tell you why. 1, experience. 2, he's only 32 years old. We got fucking Kara France chasing after the UFC lightweight title, which I'm going to get into next. And people are saying Kara France should win. Who's facing fucking Alexander Pantoja. Pantoja has beaten some fucking big names. And he's on his 3rd title defense. What are you fucking people smoking? But I'll get into that in just a little bit. Anyway, Brandon Royval has experience. Brandon Royval has beaten Brandon Moreno on the feet. He's also got a wrestling game. Joshua Van is suspect of having a weak chin, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. You guys might think I'm crazy for saying that. But oh, yeah, he is definitely got some chin problems. I'm telling you, man, this guy has some issues. I've seen him been knocked down. Even without getting knocked out, he has been knocked down on multiple fights. Almost every fight he's had, he's fell to the fucking ground. He faces up against somebody that can hit him good, he's gonna fucking lose. And I'll be honest with you. Brandon Royval has won 4 fights by knockout. Now let's see where he's won these fights, though. He's won 2 fights by split decision, which is a little concerning to me. Who else has he beaten? Has he beaten anyone with a knockout? Shit. Seems like he's winning by submissions all over the place. Oh, wow. It looks like he won most of his fights by the knockout victories by the early portion of his career, it seems. Yeah, it seems like he won by early portions of his career. So yeah, knockout I wouldn't consider, but submission is possible. He's won a lot of fights by submission, but as of late he's kind of been winning by, judges' scorecards and all that, which I think a lot of people might get concerned about that, but that's alright. That's fine. But yeah, Charles Johnson beat him with a fucking uppercut at UFC, in a UFC event. It was with Namajunas versus Cortez. So yeah. I honestly think that Brandon Royval is walking away with the W here. By decision, you can moneyline it. You can put it as a decision prop if you want. If you do the decision prop, do not put that in a parlay. You could end up losing. God forbid he ends up knocking him out. That would be a fucking waste of an opportunity to hit a parlay with an underdog and end up taking an L anyway, even though you picked the right person to win. So just money line it for the parlay portion of things. If you want to do a decision by Royval on its own as a single bet, totally understand. That would make a lot more sense than putting in a parlay. God forbid something happens in the going the distance. He gets knocked out, submitted, something like that. That would be an absolute fucking waste to your parlay. Just money line it. Don't make it difficult on yourself. Next, we have Alexander Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. This fight, fellas, I don't know. I'm going with Pantoja, but Kara-France, he scares me a little bit. And I keep saying to myself, I had Pantoja in my 3-leg parlay at one point. I kept him in two of my 3-leg parlays, and I kept cashing out. This is the third time, and now Pantoja's out of the mix. I am not taking no chances here with Pantoja. I think Pantoja can win this fight, but as a betting standpoint and a parlay, I think it is too much of a risk. You're leaving yourself open of a possible L here because Kara-France does have the ability for knockout power. So if you want to bet anyone on this fight, go with Kara-France. Because at least Kara-France, if he knocks him out, you win. So that's just my belief. I did watch their first encounter, but you can't base that all on what happened the first time, because this was in 2016. That's a long time ago. That's almost 10 years ago. So you can't base it off of that. But based on what I saw, Kara-France was a little hesitant. He was being respectful of his wrestling, so he was focusing on that and worrying about that. Now, is there a possibility Pantoja could end up doing that? Pantoja was very respectful to Kara-France's power ability and stand-up fighting ability. Pantoja stood up most of the time protecting his guard, making sure that he didn't get hit in the head in any way possible form. I mean, a few shots got in, but nothing too powerful or dangerous. As long as he goes into this fight careful, and he's not, rushing in like he's done with Steve Erceg and other fighters in the past, I think he'll be okay, because this guy has the knockout power ability. As long as he respects that power that Kara-France has, stays in the middle of the octagon, tries to be busy with the takedowns. He doesn't even have to connect with the takedowns. Just press him up against the cage, dirty box him up, hit him in the body, weaken him up, try to tire him out by doing body punches. When you're that close into someone and you got him pressed up against a cage and you can hit him with good shots or knee him in the gut, break a rib cage or something, that is the direction you want to go with this guy. Because Kara-France does have good takedown defense ability. So with that all being said, I think Pantoja is the pick. But as to bet on it, I think you're kind of taking a chance of possibly losing. So out of respect, I'd say stay away from this. Or if you want to bet on this, bet on Kara-France. Bet it as an individual bet, nothing else. Do not put this in a parlay. You could end up losing your parlay. That's just my opinion on that. And last thing is Tapoya versus Charles Oliveira for the vacated lightweight championship. The flyweight championship, of course, is in the co-main event between those two. This fight, I would say Tapoya has a very high chance of winning. I am very, very positive. He is my third leg in this parlay. I think he's going to walk away with this W. I don't think he is going to be in any way, shape, or form have to worry about Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira likes to charge in. He likes to make it dirty. And so does Tapoya. And Tapoya is a cleaner striker than Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira, if he really wants to win this fight, it would have to be on the takedown. Now, I don't know how Tapoya's takedown defense is. Let me take a look here real quick. Let's go to UFC stats. And as I can see here, his takedown defense is amazing. 92% of the time he defends the takedown. That's impressive as hell. I mean, if he's doing that, I think he's got a good shot at winning. The only concern I have is about the reach and height advantage that Charles Oliveira might have. 5'10", 74-inch reach. Yeah, he's got like a 5-inch reach advantage, a 3-inch height advantage. So, I mean, that is some factors to be concerned about. But with takedown defense that Tapoya has, I mean, and his knockout power ability, I mean, this guy could probably win this fight by knockout without question. I moneylined him in my 3-leg parlay. I know, minus 450, very steep of a bet to take. But it's just worrying about him winning or losing, one way or the other, by decision, knockout, submission. It doesn't matter how he wins, just as long as he wins. That's all I care about. And that's how I win these parlays, is I just pick the winner of the fights. I don't worry about, props and all that shit, because if that goes wrong, even though I'm right, I still lose. I don't like that. I think that sucks. Those kind of bets you bet individually, you don't bet these in bet those kind of bets in parlays. So, I mean, I managed to hit one before with one of the 2 legs out of the 4. I won a $1,000 bet last year in Orlando, betting on 2 money line picks and 2 fights that went to a decision, and I ended up winning. So, go figure that one out, let me know. Because that, to me, is fucking crazy. But yes, Tapoya is my pick. Charles Oliveira will lose this fight, in my personal opinion. I say Tapoya in the fight against Charles Oliveira, and Tapoya walks away with the UFC lightweight belt. That's my viewpoint here. Some of my individual picks. Felipe Lima and Peyton Tablet. I would say this fight goes to a decision, so if you want to go to a fight going the distance, you can definitely select that as an individual bet. I would not blame you. Same with Moicano and Dariush. I think that will go to a decision, so you could definitely pick that for going the distance. Jamil and Jose Delgado. I think that fight might even go the distance too. I think Delgado does have a puncher's chance to knock him out, possibly. But I'm going to say it goes to a decision. Tracy Cortez, Vivian Atrejo. This wouldn't even be worth betting on, even if it went to a decision. I mean, there's really nothing much you can bet on here outside of Tracy Cortez. Or if you want to go dog money and take a shot at Vivian, you can, but I wouldn't. I'd pretty much stay away from this fight, personally. Terrence McKinney and Makhachev, I'd say this fight is under 2.5 rounds. I would possibly throw a bet on that. I think this fight ends within the 2 rounds. I don't think it gets to a third. Jacoby Smith, knockout by first round. That's what I would mark it down as the knockout prop. I'd say knockout in the first round. Or if you just want to go knockout, doesn't matter what round, it's a minus 275. And Jonata Deniz, I say Deniz knocks out Alvin Hines in the first round. Straight up. That's my picks. Those are my individual bets. At this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching. And have a great night, guys. Bye.